So good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the intro for the Your Acoustic Body class. And okay, so we received so many amazing questions, and we will go into the questions as well. But first, we would like to as well give you some information about how the class was created, what is the class is about. And because we had questions about this part as well, so maybe it would cover that too. And after that, we will go into the questions. And if you are just joining now, then please select your language. There is the icon of a planet on the bottom of the screen or wherever on the screen. Cool. So regarding how this class was created, it was, first, for me, access consciousness means really what it says. It's about you access consciousness. And consciousness includes everything. So there is no such thing that is hidden from you. You have an amazing capacity because you are an infinite being. It means you are not alone. You are not just one being, just a being. You have a capacity to be in oneness, to be in communion with the whole universe. That means you can tap into any form of energy at any level of intensity. You can connect to any information that was ever presented or shown up anywhere in the world, in any time. So you are multidimensional, you are beyond time, you are beyond space. You know, you can connect to anything in the past, anything in the future, in any dimensions. There are no limitations. And this is the whole class is about, how you sort of like get beyond the limitations of this reality in your body as well, and as a being, because you are an infinite being. In each and every moment, you are the infinite being. The only problem is that you are an infinite being who is functioning from so many points of view and limitations. And as we start to like get rid of the points of view and limitations, you can really have that sensation of how you be an infinite being. You can really start to see more possibilities of how you can create magic in all areas of your life. And like one of the things that you know showed up at the beginning, it was like I even didn't know what does acoustic wave mean. Like I was attending the CF training in 2016, and Gary Douglas and Dane here stood up on the podium and they said, like, you are the new certified facilitators, and it's your duty to bring up the information that is really that you are aware of, because like Gary and Dane, like they had a certain capacity to bring up the classes that they already have as specialty classes, and they sort of like gave us to see us this duty to, whatever you are aware of, bring it up to the surface and share it with the people. And it was really, really empowering. And then after the class, I went home. I started to ask questions like, what should I do? Because I had really no clue about that. And then I opened up the foundation manual, and there was one word: acoustic wave. Oh my God, what is that? And at that time, there was not much added to it. Really, it was just one sentence, like about the generative, the acoustic wave that is generative to your body. Okay, what is that? But I had this approach that maybe there is no information written, but there is information in the universe. So I was asking for that energy and for that information to run on my body and my being. And I was like really asking for that for weeks. And the way the information started to show up was really non-linear. And I started to have certain situations when suddenly just the information was downloaded. And I had more and more awareness about who we are as an infinite being and how we really have the capacity to, maybe this is the best way to describe it, to start to communicate with the molecules. And not just molecules, but anything and everything around us. Like how you can really be magical, how you can really, like, how to say, hack, be the hacker of consciousness, be the hacker of this reality. Like, you know, if it's like we are infinite beings, and at the same time we live in a world that is like a prison in many ways. Like, how could it be that we have to live or put up with all these rules and regulations of physics, and that, you know, you cannot change physical reality of something, but I'm an infinite being. There should be a way. And actually there is a way, and there are so many amazing ways, and it's really, 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 really possible. And as I was in question and I was asking for this to show up, it started to show up more and more and more. And I was like, one of the things was that, like, I had an awareness that everything is energy, and actually everything is like like there is no difference or no significance about it if something shows up in different forms. And I give you an example that I went on a 1 week of travel around New Zealand, because at that time we were living in New Zealand. I was facilitating foundation classes in different cities. And after a week, came back to our home, and the next morning I wanted to drink coffee. But I realized that the milk in the fridge was, you know, it expired, it became sour. You know, like, and I was lazy to go out and and really to buy it in a shop. And suddenly I had this awareness that, like, milk can show up in many forms. And in our everyday point of view, that the milk that is sour, it's useless. Or, you know, it's not drinkable. You wouldn't put it into your coffee. But the sweet milk, the fresh milk is good. But this is just a point of view. These are different forms. There are combinations of possibilities that you can choose about milk. Some of these possibilities are expired milk, like sour milk. Some of these possibilities are even, let's say, it's like cheese or yogurt or whatever. So if we don't make it significant, then I have the capacity to choose between the different forms. So I had this awareness, hell, now the form I have in my fridge is a sour milk, which smelled really badly. It was disgusting and looked disgusting as well. But I would like to have a different form of it, which is the fresh milk. And as I had no point of view about it, I just get the bottle of milk in my hands, and I was asking for that possibility where this milk is fresh. And it was really amazing that the energy, like with the body process, an energy was running through the whole bottle. And it was just running and running, and I didn't know what will show up. It was just curious, and I sensed something is really happening. And it was running like for 5 minutes approximately. And then I sensed the energy dissipate. Okay, then something happened now. And I opened up the bottle again, smelled into it, and it was smelling like fresh milk. It wasn't that disgusting anymore. And strange enough, the texture of the milk was different as well, like fresh milk. my God, that's great. So, you know, there was a last thing to taste it. And I was tasting it. Wow, it's fresh milk. So it's working. And it became, you know, my precious. So I put it back to the fridge. You know, I just gave up drinking coffee. It's more important display. And 3-4 days later, it was again smelling bad and disgusting. Okay, if it worked 3 days ago, it has to work again. So I was taking it in my hands, run the energy on it, asking for the same thing, the fresh milk, and it showed up. Okay, cool. So I was asking for, because when we say like acoustic wave is the space of infinite possibilities. This is the very nature of the infinite being we are. You can choose anything from the space of infinite possibilities. There is no such thing that is not available for you. We make certain possibilities significant and certain possibilities as not possible at all. But it's us who we make it. And there is a combination of possibilities for fresh milk, another combination for sour milk. So I was asking again for the combination of possibilities for the fresh milk, and it worked. And I also allowed it to be whatever it is after that. So I was playing with this bottle of milk for like 2 weeks. And every 3-4 days, it became like sour. Then I went, I tasted it. It was disgusting. I mean, terrible taste, like who likes it? But then I was asking for that other possibility. The acoustic vibration of the fresh milk. And it was working and it showed up that way. So it's like, for me, it was like playing and moving things from one reality to another reality. And after 2 weeks, I realized I have another point of view that I have to sort of like keep it in the fridge. But this is, again, it's just a point of view. Like we both into it, right? Like things needs to be put into the fridge, like milk. So I put it on the kitchen bench. And 3-4 days later, it was again just as disgusting as before. Run it again. So I was playing with it for additional 2 more weeks. Always tasting, become great, good. And you know, it went beyond let's say the expiry date by 4 weeks. And every 3-4 days, it was turned back to normal, to fresh milk. And then it was really, really powerful because it was something that showed me it is possible, it is working, and I really have to use it in so many areas. And also the information started to show up in many different areas of how to work with it. If it is not something physical, let's say, if let's say your business has its own, let's say, acoustic wave. For example, a business that is generating a certain amount of money with certain amount of input, right? But if you would like to change your business, like turn it into a multi-million-dollar global business, it has like a totally different structure and totally different energy behind it, and totally different possibilities and like combinations of possibilities. So you can ask for that as well. That would transform your reality. And you can also, like, we have so many points of view that, okay, if it's energetic, it's different. But if it's like a body, or if it's like a living thing like milk, you know, you can think like, if I can run it on a body part, then I can run it on milk because that's somehow it's organic, right? But what about something that's really mechanical or electronic? And the amazing thing, it also works on that too. Like we had a mattress, and that mattress was really firm. And I was really hating it because I wasn't able to sleep on that very well. It was like hurting my body all the time. And after a while, I realized, oh my God, I'm stupid. I was putting up with this mattress for many years without asking for this to change it. And, you know, I had my ex-wife and she really enjoyed it. So I didn't want to change for her, just for me. So I was asking for that combination of possibilities that would be generative to my body and running it, let's say, on the mattress, this energy, like a body process. And it changed. And after that, it was really amazing. I had beautiful sleep on that mattress. So, you know, it's really amazing. You have this capacity. I mean, I say you have because after I started to see that other people can also have this capacity. It's not something that I only have. It's anyone has that because we all infinite beings, and not just because you are a being, but the great thing is that you have a body that is like a very special contribution for this, to be able to perform these things on physical reality on this planet. Like maybe you've heard that thing about the golden planet, that we infinite beings are coming from the golden planet, and on that planet we were able to really actualize anything, even on physical level, like immediately. And then the story is that after the techies sort of like destroyed the planet, we lost this possibility. But actually it is not true, because we have something much greater than what we had then. Because there, sort of like we were dependent on the golden planet. And the amazing thing is now we have a body, and your body is sort of like a key to this possibility of communicating with the molecules and transform the molecules. So it's sort of like, I would say we have, it's a step forward, or it's a step up from where we were before. Like we are not dependent on something that is not us, that was taken from the infinite beings, but we have an amazing body, and each and every one's body has this capacity. It's like a different state of the body. But the body has the capacity to function from that state. We just didn't ask for that. We didn't know. No one told us. Or let's say this was sort of like an information that was kept hidden from us. And so I created this class, and I got the approval from Access Consciousness, then started to facilitate the class. And like the first time when I was advertising and facilitate, like, let's say, holding the first intro call, it was for China. And what happened that like 2 minutes or 5 minutes before the intro, the power went out. Like there was a power outage in the whole street where we were living, and it was like 9 p.m. So it was total dark, and not just total dark, but you know, you have no power. So how you will make it happen? And luckily, the laptop was charged, and luckily my mobile phone had internet on it, so I was hotspotting. And we had candles, so we were lighting candles. And if this wasn't enough, then we had a Chinese translator, and for some reason, like no one was hearing the translator. They heard me, I heard everyone, and no one heard the translator. And then suddenly we had an awareness, there is an entity that is sort of like blocking this whole thing, or there has to be something. So we started to run clearings, like everything that doesn't allow this information to get to the people, anything that would block this, anything, really anything. And we were running these clearings like for 2 minutes. And when we finished with the clearings, suddenly the Chinese translator voice showed up, like in that exact second when we finished with the last sentence of the clearing. And from that moment, the translation was available for the whole hour and a half. And when we finished with the topic of what is acoustic body and what is acoustic vibration, and regarding this, there were no more information provided, suddenly what happened that the power came back in the whole street, in the house and everywhere else on the street. And it was really strange, like what is happening here? And ask questions, and really what came up, there is an entity. And you know, naturally the first action regarding entity, you have to clear the entity. But imagine that if an entity has this capacity, then there has to be a reason, and you have to communicate with it. I started to ask questions, and what showed up, it's like, it's a sort of like a guardian angel of the planet. And what they said, like, this information was given on this planet like many times before, but somehow people started to abuse it. And this created sort of like the collapse of humanity many times before, because people were using this so powerful information, like abusing it. And this entity told us, like, we can communicate about it, but we have to get to a level where people can get it like up to 80% clearly. So the information had to be told or given to people with 80% clarity. Just to give you a sense about it, like when you attend any kind of like a talk or a speech, usually people get 7% of it. So the rest of it is sort of like lost because. So if you want to really get all the information, that mathematically it means you need to listen to something like 15 times, because there are many, many layers. Like speech has like energetic layers, like layers about in all different levels. And as you listen to it more and more, you start to get it. So this was sort of like a test from them that it's, you know, if this information has to come back to the planet, then this time we cannot use it to destroy the planet anymore. It has to reach people in a way that people are conscious enough and people are willing to use it to create something greater. And so after that, many times we had to do some clearings before these intros. Even like it happened, like the mobile phones collapsed, or the router or the internet collapsed, or just something always happened that was sort of like blocking it when we didn't do it. So it was really an amazing experience. So it was like reminding us this is something important to deal with. And of course, there were lots of amazing changes. One of the big topics of the class is about miraculous healing, because really people went through amazing changes during the classes. So this is sort of like the history of the class, how it all started, how it was created. And so I think let's talk about the questions we have. And maybe if we run out of time, then maybe we will have a second instance to talk about it more. But what I really would like to tell everyone, that each of us has this capacity. Each of you has your body, and the body has capacity to function, let's say, as electric body. What is electric body? It's the body as we know it from biology classes. That's the body that responds to usual treatment. That's the body that works as doctors would state how it works, or scientists would state it. But also that same body has a capacity to function as from the space of infinite possibilities. And in that space, there is no time, there is no distance, there is no need for biochemical changes. Like change and recovery is possible immediately. And actually, the body is sort of like, even nowadays, it shows these two kind of capacities. So every day, your body is working a little bit from the acoustic body capacity, but mostly from the electric body capacity. And one of the examples is homeopathy. If you heard about homeopathy, it's like there is a tiny, let's say, it's called homeopathic ailment. There is a tiny tablet that has only the vibration of the information. It doesn't have any substance of it, just the energy, just the vibration. And you take that and your body recognizes the vibration, because the vibration is information. So your body has a capacity to be able to receive information, and you can communicate with your body through information. So it's just really amazing. Like one of the examples was we went into a local organic store where, you know, there is this really pure and amazing quality things are sold. And okay, hey buddy, no, you have this capacity. So take everything from the store, from all the liquids, from all the tablets, from anything that you desire to have. And it felt really like being in heaven. Like suddenly the body was like shining and was so energized, and it was like just taking everything that it ever required. And but also, you know, no points of view about if the body would require anything physically. So, okay, body, show me where are those things that you want me to buy and take it physically. And we went to those shelves and bought all those things, paid it at the counter and used it. Because there is no point of view. There is nothing wrong with it. It's like recognizing that the body uses this and it's okay, and uses that, and that is also okay. Now, nothing wrong with this. And the amazing thing was that the people who attended the classes, they also created change, and not just after the class, but many of them created change and created real magic even during the class. And just because we are sort of like, well, we still have amazing amount of time. So just a few examples what I wanted to share, which is like funny examples, really. I mean, some of them are more than funny. Like there was let me start with this one. There was a lady who had, how to say, maybe everyone heard about such thing, that it can happen that one of the bra is smaller than the other one. And this lady was sort of like suffering from that like for her, there was a big difference. And like during the class, people were running these processes on each other. And another lady was running it on her and asked her, like, what would it take for that to change and both boobies to be the same size? And then first, nothing has changed, because the other lady's idea was to make the bigger one smaller. And we started to ask questions, and then it showed up that the smaller one wants to be bigger. Like that was the awareness of the body. And while she was treating her, it started to grow. And within like 30 minutes. Carolina, you have a question? Not. Something has gone. Carolina, where are you? I lost. Should I hear you? Carolina, are you okay? No. God. Technical break. So just for the purpose of the translation. So, okay, and everything that doesn't allow us to receive that, you know, we can have fun and we can have change and we can, you know, like, what if being magical doesn't have to be that profound than what we expect it to be? What if you can be magical and you don't have to call yourself like Buddha? You don't have to be like Jesus, or you don't have to be that profound being, but you can still really use it. You can really create change in your own life and in other people's life, in small things or different things, or in unexpected things. So everything you made vital, valuable, real, and significant about it, will you destroy and uncreate, eliminate and eradicate for all eternity. like really, what if you can use it on your milk and you can be a lazy person, like creating fresh milk for yourself or for the kids for the morning, or just like this example where this lady had one of her boobies were smaller than the other one, and the person who was like the other lady who was running the treatment on her was managed to grow the smaller boobie into big, like. And the amazing thing was like she started to say like, oh my God, I don't know what's happening, but she started to say that the small one grows and filled up that side of the bra. And you know, it wasn't me. So I'm not the one who is running the process. You know, so it's the person who was attending the class for the very first time, and so they did it. And the next day when she came back for the class, like she said, like one thing is her husband was very happy. The other thing is that it didn't change back, so it was staying that same size both. And she was really like she was unable to put it anywhere. Like how did it happen? Like she lived like, let's say, half of her life with this difference. And like, you know, it doesn't have to be profound. It can be, let's say, things that are making our everyday life greater. And also there is that example about an electric device. Like when I was facilitating this class in China, in Beijing, and after the first night, I mean, after the first day, my laptop was not turning on. And it was giving like an error message that the cooling system, the fan is not working. And in order to protect the processor, it just doesn't allow me to turn on. And I was doing all kinds of, you know, well-known solutions, you know, like shaking the laptop, like taking the battery out and back and trying to restart, hitting it, banging it, you know, all kinds of solutions. And it didn't work, nothing. Like I restarted it like 20, 30 times. And at that time I was using the laptop to record the sound of the class. So it was a big problem. Like, how will I do the recording the next day? And the final solution, what we all know is, you know, you put it under your pillow and go to sleep, hoping that by the morning it's resolved, but it wasn't. So, and then I realized, okay, this should work on the laptop as well. So I was asking for the acoustic wave of a properly working fan for that laptop. And it was like running like crazy on the laptop, like for 30 minutes. And then it was still running while I was in the taxi going to the venue. And then I opened up and it was turning on. And after that, that laptop was running an additional 4 years more. So it already was a 7-year-old laptop. So it's so amazing that in which many ways things can change. Like there was a guy who was using it on his mobile phone, where suddenly the speaker started to be crap. Like it sounded like the speaker is like scratchy, gives scratchy noise all the time. And then he was asking for a properly working speaker. And after that, it was, you know, like providing perfect sound again. So people were using it also on bodies. People were using it also on, let's say, on many things that are like, let's say I was using it on the milk, but we also did it with the full class in St. Petersburg for the very first time. That like for 3 days we had a bottle of milk, we put it into the window and it was like 25 degrees and it becomes so disgusting. And then we poured it into glasses and we were running together with the whole class to turn that milk into fresh milk. We also did it in Prague, like last year or a year and a half ago when we had the class, that everyone had the chance to taste it as it was disgusting and then run these processes to transform, to change the milk. And it was, nice and drinkable after that. So the possibilities available, the capacities are available. You are infinite beings. You have amazing body for that, which is a key in this whole thing if you want to create change in the physical structures. So what is holding us back from having it? And it was really amazing to see that people started to use it, and they used it in their own personal way. So everyone is practicing and everyone has their own life, and it's up to the practitioner how far you wish to go. What are the things you wish to change? And people are reporting all kinds of changes that are showing up in their bodies, showing up for their clients, and showing up in their everyday real life. And what is the magic that can show up for you if you join the class and if you would like to create more change? Because this is, again, it's all about being the magical creator you truly be. And are you willing to step up and use the tools and see how far you can go? Like, what are those things that are possible that none of us ever expected it's possible? Yeah. So what if we jump into the questions? I also have the questions somewhere. Aha, so I think I just read it in English, the first one. Like, what change can show up in the body after completing the course? So as I mentioned, we have so many points of view that we implanted into the body. Imagine that you have a Ferrari. This is the acoustic body, but you don't know it is a Ferrari. And actually, it doesn't show up as a Ferrari because we don't function from that space as if it was a Ferrari. We just think it's a, I don't know, like a Trabant or a Warburg, or let's say something like that, Polski Fiat. And if you start to give that space, if you allow your body, as so many people allowed that, and we're using these tools. So if you really are there to let's say, create a change in your life, then the body can start to function more and more and more from that space of the infinite being that you are. Because the acoustic body is sort of like the matching quality for the infinite being. The acoustic body was granted or gifted to the infinite being. It's not something very limited. We just can't see the capacities because no one told us, no one empowered us, no one wanted to share it. It was sort of like kept hidden from us. And it's really like you always had the magic wand in your hands, and no one told you that it is already in your hand. So everyone is looking for Harry Potter and buy the magic wand in a special shop. You don't have to buy anything. It's yours. It was always yours, and it was always in your hands. So all the amazing capacities of the body starts to show up as we start to use these tools on the body, because there are like special processes created for this class to be used on the body. The other question is how to learn to listen to your acoustic body. So one of the things is that, like, what is the space that we are functioning from in a daily basis? And the reason I started to create all these tools, because I had this awareness that you sort of like very reliant and dependent on your body. Because all the points of view and all the implants, like all the projections that are sort of like implanted into your body, all of these are generating a vibration. And like, how many times have your body been judged, let's say by you, or judged by your parents, or judged by your classmates in school? And how much of that are still sort of like affecting your body. And it's not just affecting your body, but you as a being, when you are not fully conscious, then you make yourself equal to the body. So the body with all these implants are keep generating continuously the vibration of judgments, all the judgments that were implanted into the body. And that really limits you as an infinite being, because you just pick it up as it was true. And when we sort of like start to clear it, when we get rid of all these implants and all the polarity about the body, then the being can have much more space. So you as a being can function more and more of who you are. And again, if you function more and more of who you are as an infinite being, that is providing more space to the body to function more and more of what it is as an acoustic body. And then again, it comes back to you as a being, and it creates more space for you. So it's like an upward spiral where it creates more and more for you as you run these processes on yourself and the body. So, and this really helps you to listen to your body more and more, and to sort of like recognize these hidden capacities of the body. Cool. Another question was that I think we covered, like what the acoustic body is about. Other question was, how long have I been a CF and how did I get into acoustic body? So it is sort of like covered. I'm a CF since 2016, and I keep renewing every year. I was also CF of Talk to Entities classes in the past for a short period of time. Another question, how can I alleviate, or rather not experience, the fatigue that is reflected in my body in connection of letting go of hardships or pains of other people's who are in my presence or who are around me? How to let go and not experience at all this energy. Like one thing is to truly recognize what is mine and what is not mine. Like one of the other things, like when I created the Your Acoustic Body class, I was keep asking the class, like, when is the time for this to be advertised? Like, when should I start to make it more visible to the people? And for like 6 or 8 months, it was a no. Like it was keep telling me, no, no, not yet. Okay. And then it was 2017, June or July, when suddenly it has changed. And I didn't know, like, what happened? Like, why it's changed? Like, suddenly it was big yes. And then, like, I was asking more questions about it, and what showed up, it was a time when the Becomex clearing was brought back to access. Because the Becomex, maybe you've heard about it, it's an entity that is sitting in your body in autopilot mode. So for example, it's controlling your body and driving your body in so many situations, and it's also limiting your awareness or your consciousness and your control over your body. And that clearing came back because people were choosing to be more conscious with their bodies. And it's a big thing. People were choosing to become more and more conscious with their bodies. And therefore, finally, they were ready to let go or send away or clear the Becomex from the body. So when, so to me, it is just another way of, are you willing to have clarity about that? Your body is amazing, and are you willing to have total control over your body? Like not letting anyone affect your body, or not letting other people's realities or points of view or feelings, thoughts, emotions, and emotions affect your body or limit what you can create and how you can enjoy this amazing gift that you have as a body. Like, you know, being able to see clearly that what is yours and what is not. Like I remember I was walking one day in the shopping center, and then suddenly I started to have lots of pain in my body, and it was like, oh, pretty sure it's because I was walking here too long. And then I was like, but is that mine at all? And then I realized, oh my God, it's all the people's around me. So, okay, I'm just myself and no one else. And I'm very grateful for everyone's pain and their stress and whatever, but I'm choosing to have my own reality. And what will it take for everyone to recognize what is their own reality? Like how many illnesses people had in their life that wasn't their own illness, it was like their body's recognition of other people's illnesses. And you can take any kind of medication, it will not change something that your body is just showing you. It's like, you are watching TV and you don't like what you see there. And if you take medication, it will not change. The TV, you just have to switch off the TV. Like you don't have to watch the TV if you don't like what is going there. Like we don't have to take on other people's pain and suffering, but you can be a contribution to them. But it's a big problem if we take it as ours, because it's not treatable. It's just not yours. So what else is really possible when we own our bodies and we have the clarity that this is my body and I have total control over it? And the other thing, we were like flying back to China and facilitating classes there. And one time it was like, it was an early flight, like 14 hours flight from New Zealand. And it was terrible. Like I was unable to sleep. I was so tired, had to wait for the transfer for a taxi at the airport, like for 2 hours. The transfer itself took 2 hours. There was not enough space in the back of the car. So I had to have the luggage on my lap, which was a 30 kg luggage. So sitting 2 hours in a car, you are very, very tired. The humidity is extremely high. And there is also like, the time difference was like 4 or 5 hours. And I felt like, oh my God, I'm going to die here. I'm so tired. And then suddenly I asked this question like, hey, is my body truly tired? And just when it just showed up, the whole tiredness just disappeared. But logically, there was very hard reasoning that my body had to be tired. So how much do we buy into the logical reasonings that it's totally logical? Like, hey, guy, you didn't sleep. Then the humidity was high. It was really hot. That big baggage was on your lap, like 30 kg. It's like everything, like all the good reasons were there that I had to be tired. In the moment when I asked the question, like, my body is truly tired, and it was no. Hey, buddy, you are not tired. It was no. Okay. And with this question, suddenly it was refreshed. It's like you put a mask on yourself that this is how I should feel because this is matching my point of view, my learned point of view about this reality. Imagine that. How many situations are there in your life where you force a reality on yourself when it shouldn't be that reality? Like you function from behind a mask and you decide that what is written or what is represented by that mask, that has to be true for you. And it shouldn't. You can have your own reality, especially your body is much more powerful, much more capable. It has much more capacities. I remember I was running like a long distance, like we had like, I don't know, 6 or 7 of us. Yeah, a group of 6 of us was running marathon, and each of us was running like 7 kilometers. And that was a big deal at that time. And after like like 3 or 4 kilometers, I started to feel, oh my God, I'm really, really tired. I don't know if I will complete it at all. And then I started to ask my body, like, is that true? And do I have even more capacities? Like, do I have even more energy left in the body? Like, not just left, but it's like, hey, guy, I'm very capable. I can run even faster. We can speed up now. And then I was like speeding up, and I was just like faster than at the very beginning. And I was just sprinting the whole group. And I don't know how many people, like over 50 people I was passing that were running in front of me. And, you know, your body has amazing capacities. What did we buy into? And it's all about what is the space that you force your body to function from. And also, I was just sitting in the taxi at that time, and I asked myself, like, okay, so there is this 4 hours time difference between New Zealand and that was like in China. So, okay, so I won't be able to go to sleep in time, or what will happen? So let's match it. So I choose to like match the local time zone. And you know, usually they say like 1 hour for your body. If there is a 1 hour time zone difference, it takes like 1 day to match it. So 4 hours would be 4 days. But it takes no time because I asked my body, and that night I went to sleep at 10 p.m. and totally easily, and woke up at 6 a.m. And there was nothing wrong with the body, and everything was perfect. So there are all kinds of tricks that you can use for your body, like changing things and situations, if you are truly willing to. But are you truly willing to look into it, and are you willing to be present and conscious with your body? And I think there is a question. There was a question like, as for receiving, like being touched on my body, I don't really like to be touched, and what should I do with that? Okay. Just a quick thing. So you as an infinite being, you know, let's say you are endless. Sort of like in each and every lifetime you have a body, but the infinite being, like, it's there always. So if you make something significant in one lifetime about your body, then you bring it into the body in the next lifetime. So you sort of like implant it into the body. So how many programs you have from previous lifetimes that you implanted into this lifetime's body? Like what, in which many ways have you been tortured or treated unkindly or terribly? So you decided that no one should touch me, because if someone touches me, it's just like a torture. So, and your body has this program. And are you willing to let go of this program? Hey, is it still relevant? Hey, buddy, is it still relevant in this lifetime? Or is it still relevant with my partner? Is it still relevant with anyone who tried to touch you or caress you or, you know, be kind to you? And what have you made vital, valuable, real, and significant about it? And will you destroy and uncreate, eliminate, and eradicate for all eternity? And also there was a question like, how can I recognize, let's say after the first date with a guy, or even before the first date, that if the person is the right person for you? And because, you know, who wants to waste time and energy to figure it out within weeks or months or even after years that the person is not the right connection for you? And okay, one of the great contribution of this class is also that, like, as you get rid of, like, sort of like you melt the reality around you. So you get rid of everything that is fake, everything that is a lie, everything that is misleading. Because every time when you use these tools and you sort of like bring up to the surface to the quality of the infinite being that you are, it's like you sort of like choosing to be as conscious and being as present as the infinite being you are. So your awareness, and let's say this, like the awareness is something that gives you information, but it doesn't always give you information in a way that is pure information, but it gives you in symptoms, or it gives you symbolically, or it gives you as energy. But as you sort of like getting rid of the points of view, as you are running these processes, because what it does, it really not just changing your body, but changing and melting all that reality that you bought into. The reality you bought into about relationships, about financial reality, about work or your profession or family and people, all areas of life. It's like really opening up our eyes to what is behind the curtains, what is behind the masks of people. And are you willing to see it if that is the person for you? And it's really funny. Like, I also did that. You can see it as the person looks like, yes, because you really want it, that this is the person. And when you meet, it turns out, no. Like, you didn't know why, like why you were not listening to your awareness, but no, this is not the person. and but it's really good because it is a possibility for you to sort of like rely on your awareness more and more and more. Like I was choosing like trying to buy a car in the past that I realized that no, it's really not the car I wanted to buy, because, you know, like when I had the first test ride, it showed up like that's terrible. From outside, it looked amazing, but I had an awareness that something is really wrong with it. And, you know, the owner said, no, it's perfect. And it all looked perfect. But I was also asking for the things to show up that are not okay about it. And it started to show up on the first test drive, luckily. So I didn't have to buy the car. And you know, like, are you willing to have clarity about what works for you? And you know, you can ask, like, we can be more and more, how to say, creative. And as we get rid of the points of view, as we get rid of these limitations and implants, our creativity start to show up, because creativity is all the different ways how you can be more and more conscious, how you can get around something that is that seems to be unsolved or impossible to resolve. So how much are we willing to function as an infinite being? How much are we willing to really have this body as the body of the infinite being and allow it to change, allow it to transform and use it for yourself, and not just use it as a body, but also recognize it is a magic wand that you can really have to, and you can use it to create a change in physical structures around you. So you can really contribute to, as a healer, to other people, and you can really contribute to, in so many ways, to, like, if it's part of your profession, you can use it in many ways. You know, you don't have to be a sportsman to use your body, but which are the ways that you can really use your body and it will create a change in this reality? Like, you know, you can be a mechanic, and that's as well. You can be a doctor, you can be any kind of healer. And there are really multiple ways how you can create change. Like people, like artists, can use their bodies as a magic wand and create change in their profession or in their field of profession. But if you're a mother, in which many ways it is a contribution to your children, to your husband, to your parents, to your beloved ones. So there are really, I don't know, it's really an endless story that which many ways you can use it if you are willing to use it for yourself and for others. We have more questions, new questions. No, actually, I think we ran out of questions for today. So just for the details about the class, which is coming to Prague. So it is coming to Prague in sort of like 2 weeks' time, in May, on the 24th, 25th, and 26th of May. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Prague. And looking forward to everyone joining us. We already have the event, we have the registration form. And if you have any further questions, feel free to turn to Carolina and Radka. They know everything about the class. And, it was a game changer like 2 years ago when we had it last time in Prague. It was really amazing when we had it in Ostrava. It was just 3 weeks ago, I think. So what magic is possible, guys? And this is an invitation. Are you willing to step up as the infinite being you truly be and have all the tools for you? And what inspiration can be the space that you open up with these tools for others to create change, like create greater. Just amazing. So thank you so much for joining us, and really looking forward to seeing you at the class in Prague. And of course, thank you so much, Carolina, for the translation and putting up with me. And also thank you so much for Radka and for the organization and everyone who contributed for this creation of this intro today. And would it be fun to ask for magic for tonight? Like, what magic can show up for you if you ask for that? Just ask for any magic that would show up and make itself visible to you and totally clear that, wow, fuck, it is a magic. It's something that you didn't expect. It can be anything from now on until next morning. Hey, universe, I'm asking for magic. What magic can show up now? And please, universe, show me now the magic. Cool. Because you are truly magical. And, it shouldn't be wasted. So have so much fun and looking forward to seeing you. And maybe we will come back with other intros or short inspirational videos about the class. And if it would be a contribution to someone around you, just let them know that this is going to happen. So thank you and see you very soon. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye. See you.